Alright, let's go ahead and get this live stream on the road. Had to do a few things, that's why I was a little late. Apologize about that, but we are here now. So it is the first Sunday of the new year. I hope everybody had a great New Year's. I know that I had, a lot of things, a lot of busy things going on, kind of on and off the game. Was able to kind of watch a little bit of some gameplay early on with other people, but that was nice. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and check out some styles today, as we always do for our Sundays for the most part. And it looks like we're going to go ahead and have our new Resurgence time capsule come out Tuesday, so that'll be something that'll come out pretty soon if you've seen Multiverses or my video on it. Obviously, very interesting. It kind of got leaked, and from what it looked like on Discord, it doesn't look like they're going to do any sort of preview video on the new rewards, just in generally or officially. So so our first look will truly be the actual look, like people getting the styles directly. I believe that'll just be Tuesday. Everybody will pretty much see everything for the first time, and that should be pretty cool. But let's go ahead and check out who we have here today. I jumped on my hero Plasmic so I could actually go and walk around a little more and see people up a little more up close. Usually if I'm on my main character, I have to stay back a little bit because we have these two pesky guys over here that'll knock me halfway across the map if I do get a little too close. So so I figured, for the new year, start out a new stream that maybe I'd go ahead and jump on this character so that I don't have to worry about any of that. To be honest, I think these guys are kind of pointless at this point. I know they did it for PvP. Yes, PvP still goes on, but I feel like, if somebody, has a flag, right? Say they had their flag and they went down and they died and they respawned over here. Well, obviously their flag's not going to be up anymore because they died, during that point. So I don't know what kind of, I don't know, bad behavior you could get from that if they were allowed up to the front here like that. It does make sense to me, but old DC days it kind of made a little more sense. Not as much now. But we'll look here at Princess Zamaron. Here we go. Because before you know it, February will be around, and we'll kind of see that as well. So I'm not sure about the Bionics. That maybe they're going for something a little different. Maybe they're not ready with it yet. And then we have Revelation over here. So it looks like we have the one of the White Walkers. Alright, give me a sec here. Alright. Fixing something here real quick so I can actually clip this, because I actually think this is a really good style. So let me go ahead and there we go. Very nice style. I like the I like the shading that they did with it. Very nice. And with everybody getting the shaded comic, I'm sure everybody's really happy to start doing these styles. Okay. And then we have PPZ over here. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm sure it's cool. I just don't know what I'm looking at. I can't share in the excitement of that, I guess. And then we have Duzu over here. Whoops, wrong menu. Wrong menu. Okay. So he's got his Broly style going on. Very nice. The same Broly head style I used, I believed. Nice head style. I feel like the legs, the better legs are the Reborn, but I know some people have like different opinions on that. And then we have Mr. I'm Batman over here. I think he's got the other, nope, don't want to click the wrong one again. So he's also kind of doing his own Broly. The hair is the choice that I used. That's the one I liked. But yet again, using the same legs as Juzu. And then we have Bardock over here. Not bad. I mean, this is the chest style that we'd always use for like the Saiyans. It was still like the best chest style really that you could have. And then, you know, let's see, and it looks like you have a Piccolo going on here. There we go. And they colored it like this to make it look like he had like the pink and green skin that he usually has. So this is Kame. Yeah, this is Kame. Very nice. Ted, welcome to chat. Ted says, hi, Iconic. So I'm trying to make a fairy type character. Anything you could recommend for the style? It depends on what fairy character you're trying to make. Obviously, maybe you'd want to go with like some sort of like butterfly wings. I know that the spring seasonal event has a lot of that sort of stuff. That's probably your best route for a lot of that sort of stuff. But also the spring event has like the elf ears and stuff like that. So it sounds like to me, if you're trying to go for like certain fairy styles, the elfish sort of things, or like the wings, that's kind of the stuff that you want for like a fairy style. That's kind of what I'd recommend. So the seasonal event's probably going to be a bulk of where you find everything that you're looking for. That'd make the most sense, I guess you could say. I saw someone here. Let me see if they're on the list here. There they are. And then we have Kyle Rayner, DC. They're trying to make it look like the, you know, like the blood effect for the mouth. It's not bad. It's not terrible. And then we have Multi-Spec. They're here as well. You know what's crazy? Is that even though this is like the neon part for the chroma, it actually works really well with like metals to give it like that metal look. I just noticed that. That's when you like black it all out, it doesn't turn like to a black color. It turns into like a gray, like a gun silver, like a gunmetal appearance. I kind of noticed that. All right. And then we have Laios over here. Ani, welcome to chat. Oni Fury says, Kami is basically another word for God. Yes. Yep. Dragon Ball is one of my favorite, like, animes to, like, I guess some people are like, oh, that's debatable whether it's an anime or not. To me, as an American, that's one of my favorite animes to watch. So I know quite a bit, and I really enjoy like what they did with a lot of that stuff. Sure, there's some decisions where you're like, okay, really, you guys made that decision. You know, you're gonna get that over time. But overall, I think they've done like a lot of good like story arcs and stuff like that. I mean, of course, my favorite would have to be the Tournament of Power. You know, but I'm sure everybody's kind of got, you know, their own favorites that they kind of gravitate towards. I just like the Tournament of Power because it brought a lot of other special characters from other universes into the mix. So that's why I liked it. But you know, you'll have some people that say they like the Boo storyline, the Boo arc, and I think so Batman, I'm Batman TM says you copy iconic simulation outfit. I just let him know the little secret there. I'm like, I am him. That's me. All right, let's look at Steve Rogers over here. Yeah, Ted. Yeah, Ted says, all right, guess I'll wait for spring then. Yeah, spring has a lot of useful like fairy outfits. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's mainly a lot of spring that's gonna help you out there. Alrighty. Alright. Let me get closer up to them here. So we got Frankie Richards over here. Very powerful one of the Fantastic Four. So very nice. I like the use of the diamond aura with the accessory. As you know, Franklin Richard is extremely powerful in the Marvel universe, so it's kind of cool to see him floating around here. Very nice. Now let's look at Steve over on the end over here. If I can see him, there we go. So that's a very interesting Captain America. It's kind of out there, but I do like alternate versions of characters. So I kind of like that. It's like a disco 70s like Captain America. Like if you dropped him off in the 70s, you know, high collars, you know, kind of reminds me of like old-fashioned like Nightwing. And then we have Dr. Doom over here. There we go. So this isn't bad. I don't care for this version of the character, but I can appreciate like what they did to like make this version. So it's not bad. It's pretty good. And I totally recognize why they don't put a material on this mask. It's like the glow on it like greatly diminishes when you put a material on it. So it's better to not have a material on it. Like even if you put like a glowing chroma on it, it would diminish the eyes. It's just not. It's like the glow effect of it does not translate well to any materials whatsoever. Okay, let me take a look-see around here, and then we got let's look at Poseidon over here because he's been floating around here a little bit. No pun intended with the floating around. Ned, welcome to chat, Ned, and they said a lot of interesting tunes here today. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just taking a look and seeing what we have here. It's curious that they got the quantum material for the back and feet instead of a water material. So that's kind of cool. That's different. We got Bon Kotsu. Let's take a look here. I don't know the character, so I'll just have to appreciate it for just the style that I see here. I mean, like the styling, like the shading and the styling with the material's pretty nice. Not crazy about like the flesh colored like you know, blunter press on the side. You know, like I'm not crazy about that. But you know, otherwise than that, everything else is pretty good. Like I know you need like the flesh tone for like the feet and all that. Alrighty, and then we got Kano over here. He's got that Black Lantern art as well. You know what? Like the chains that are going around, that should be just an accessory. like a legit access. Like they should have chains and like effects like that around your character as an accessory, if anything. I don't know why they don't go in that direction. That'd be good. But like I've told people, I'm like, we need a metallic. We need a version. We need a version of the glossy finished material that is also just metallic. That's what we need. Where the whole thing's just full metal. That's all it is. They should just call it the full metal chroma, the full metal material, and it's literally and all it does is literally just that. So this is basically Kyle Rayner when he gets all the different versions of the all the different rings at once. I think there's a little bit of a. Let me see. Got the one there. Oh, he's got the Black Lantern. The version of it that I'm thinking of, like the one that's he's trying to go for, doesn't have a Black Lantern emblem on it. So he's missing an emblem right there for one of the other. It's only supposed to be the 7, like, actual cores, not, White Lantern or Black Lantern. That doesn't include it. And then we got Santa Barbarian. I love seeing like these different like Santa like versions because it's like I kind of did my own, and I've seen one or two people kind of make their own versions of it. So it's kind of cool to see people make their own version of like Santa, like a hardcore Santa. So very nice. And they went for the same aesthetic with the light lasso on the hip. Very nice holiday lasso. Alrighty, we got Supreme over here. Let's take a look at them. There we go. PPZ says, "Hey man, how's this going?" And then Harrison says, "Hey everyone, hello, how is it going? Welcome to chat." So we got Supreme here. I love how muscular the character's legs look in these pants, but then you have like the ugly fins that like appear somewhat on the back of the leg. It's like that's the only downside I have about those pants. And then we just have someone over here. I'm Batman. That says that they made an Archillo. Let's take a look. The only thing is I'd probably make the black on this a yellow, so it matches with the suit. But overall, I don't think it's a bad attempt. The only thing is, if he's watching it here, if you're watching this on Batman, if you're watching this, Archillo in the game, I don't know about in the comics, maybe in the comics, but in the game he doesn't wear boots and he doesn't wear a belt. That's the only thing. He doesn't wear a belt and he doesn't wear boots. He just has the top and the gloves. And on his gloves, his hands are actually showing. So, better gloves to wear on this would be the... better gloves to wear for that would be... they're not going to have like the ribbed like metal, like the ribbed clasp look. It's going to be the... what did I use in the video? I know the name of it. It's just I'm blanking on it. I know it's on the back here. Protege of the inversions. Yes, there you go. That's the hand style you want to use, and it looks way better on brute characters. Much better on brute characters. So you would make this yellow, and then the red, of course, would be, the blue for Achilles' hands. I guess it's more like this color. I'd have to look. I forgot what color I used exactly, but that's what I would use for Achilles, those hands. They have more the appearance that look like the NPC that you want, but in most media, it's like he's got the bare hands past the, the armed guards and whatnot. And then we've got an evil Superman here. It says Z-ville Superman. Oh, okay. Alright, so it's just Superman. Alright. But, here we go. We are in desperate need of an open neck chest style that has a decent emblem slot, that's for sure. Funny enough, now that we've been kind of walking down memory lane the past couple days since we're nearing the 15th anniversary of the game, I used to know somebody who would wear the Noble Justice chest style and not an emblem, but he just literally wore just a Noble Warrior chest style just because of it being an open neck. So when he'd do Superman, he wouldn't even have the emblem because this doesn't carry an emblem. He would just have just a regular chest style like this, and that would, like, he would make his Superman like that, put the red cape and all that, but he wouldn't wear the emblem. Because I mean, back in the day, you didn't even have any good like emblems anyway. But that's what he would do. And then we have a deceased Jonathan L. So I like how they're wearing the stalwart defender, and they blend the emblem really well into the chest style. Yeah, that's very nice. It's a very good John L. Very nice. Trying to think what else here. And then we have Bardock. Oh, we looked at him earlier, yeah, because I was commenting on the chest style being the better of the versions there. We have this water goddess over here. Let's take a look. Next to Poseidon. I'm not crazy about the chest style. I feel like you could have maybe something a little more elaborate, but I mean, the legs are not bad. I feel like if you're gonna wear these, you might as well go the full way and you wear the you should wear the full whatchamacallit. So these are unnatural disaster. You should wear the unnatural disaster hands. I feel like the sea isn't like this. How do I say it? When I think of characters that are from the sea, a lot of the time you have to think about, like, you know, I don't know, I don't want to say being too realistic, but also on the side of, you know, like you've got barnacles down there all the time, you know, hard water is, you know, corrosive in some way. So, you know, like it wouldn't hurt if you had, you know, some metal that looks like it's corrosive. Some of the items look like they're, you know, like the gauntlets and whatnot are like almost like hammered, you know, by hand, and they're a little more rough, but they're very intricate in some ways. So I don't think things under the water would be that clear cut. So I feel like I feel like you can have things that are a little more ornate, maybe a little otherworldly, very kind of on the weird side maybe, but they're still very, you know, but they work well with the environment that they're kind of in, right? So that's how I kind of look at a lot of things like that when it comes to like underwater, like deities. You know, so it's like, you know, a lot of this stuff is like waterlogged. It's not going to look the prettiest, but in some way you could tell that it's still very magnificent in its own right. So I think things like that you really have to take into perspective, more or less. It must have been like a car or something that came by or got thrown. And then we have War Machine over here. There we go. So I think I've actually shown them on the channel before. I think they had a slightly different setup, but still a very nice style. Obviously the face piece works really well for the character. We didn't have the headpiece at the time back in the day, but now we do. So the headpiece fits with it like super well, and I think the devs kind of know that and knew that at the time, because we really didn't have any good head styles that paired well with this until, you know, now you see this, right? So I think they did a good job with that. And all you have to do is like darken the skin underneath the helmet, because it's only half helmet, and it looks like a full helmet from here. So I think that was pretty nice. And then we have let's look at Clint Francis over here. Harrison says everything's good. PPC says got some Elden Ring styles today. And then Harrison says I didn't create any new styles recently. It's all good. I mean, my channel is based like primarily on styles, and styles take a little bit of time to them. You know, like no lie. Like, you know, styles take a little bit of time. You know, and I don't want to just throw out anything. That's never been the case, never been in my videos like that. It's like if I put something out, I feel like it's a great style and it should be shown, right? Otherwise, those styles just don't, you know, they don't live to see the day, basically, right? They don't make it into videos. So that's how I kind of see it. So, you know, it takes some patience, and it takes some willingness to kind of be like, hey, you know, and there's always this kind of thing in the back of your head where you're like, you know, like, oh, you know, I could make more over time, or I should do this and should do that. But if you pressure yourself way too much, then you're just not going to have very good results. So I've always got this kind of like ideology towards like, you know, the candle that burns the brightest burns the quickest, and basically, you know, burns out the quickest. And you know, so you have to kind of like pace yourself and kind of know, like, you know, it's all right, do the best that you can within your given time, but don't you know, don't overextend yourself for no reason if you know because you really don't have to. So we've got Kurt here. But yeah, so that's kind of my rule of thumb for stuff like that. So it's like, yes, I would like to pump out more videos when it comes to different styles, but I have to come up with those styles, and I want to make sure that they're all really good, and you know, I'll you know that they're really good, right? Because you know, it's not worth making 10 mediocre videos. I'd rather make one really good video, not 10 mediocre videos. It's not worth my time to do that, and it's not worth your time to watch them. It's as simple as that. So that's kind of what I believe in, and why I do what I do. So it takes me a little while for some things, for some not as much. And then we got Reed over here. We got Flex here. Welcome to chat, Flex. He says, hi, Iconic. I'm Flex Force. I made a style. If you want to check, I'm here in the same phase as you. Okay. Alright. I'll check it out in a little bit. So we got a Reed Richards here. I'm guessing this is based on like the movie version of Reed Richards. Wasn't bad. Very nice. And then we got Flex Force, like he said. Let's go ahead and take a look at him real quick. I don't know what I'm looking at, but of those who are watching, if you know what he's dressed up as, let me know in the comments if he actually did a good job or not. There you go. And we got Rob Reynolds over here with his Sentry. It's not bad. I actually like it. It's a pretty nice style. Yeah, everybody with that shaded comic. Everybody got it now. I was seeing some people in Discord be like, yeah, and watch them turn around, put it on the marketplace for like 60 bucks for the whole account or something. You know, everybody does all that work, and then something like that happens. This is supposed to be the Avengers Tony Stark. Very nice. Let's see. We got Claire Green over here. I know I passed by them a few times. Let's take a look. with their Green Lantern style, and of course they got like the cybernetic kind of thing going on. I like seeing cybernetic stuff every once in a while. Very nice. Let's see, and then we've got looks like we have a Thanos over here. So it reminds me of like a King Thanos kinda. Very nice. I like it. I like the boots that they used, and they used the I like the pants. They tried to have the ribbing on the chest and the pants like match as much as they could, and they're using like the mutant skin. Very nice. But yeah, see the ribbing here, like the lines, and then they're trying to match it on the legs. Very nice. Alright. I remember back in the day when the Druid chest style was literally the only good chest style for making Thanos. A lot has changed in that time. And then we have Ghost Realm over here. Seems to be a very interesting style. I like the aura. I think they did a great job with those auras, by the way. I just like the contrast of the black with the bright colors. So yeah, very nice. Let me check back here, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Because I think I've pretty much seen a lot of these people here. Visibility. I think I have seen him. Let's look at Emo Boy here real quick. Looks like he's kind of got like a nature thing going on. Very nice. Got the snakes up in the tree. Alright. And then we got Hawkman DC over here. Very nice. I like that they use the, I believe that's the gilded metal weave material. Definitely one of the better gold materials in the game. And I like how they had like the enhanced, like it's like he's powered up. That's kind of nice. Alright, and then we got Trigger Mortis. See if I can find him. There we go. So I kind of like that. I like that gunslinger theme to it. I think that's a very nice style. It doesn't really have any materials, but nevertheless, I do like that. It's got a nice weird feel to it. I can't explain it, but yeah, very nice. Let's see here. We have Jesse Bell, and then I'll check out Star Killer. Where's Jesse Bell? They had to be closer. There we go. Okay, so they're a nice little speedster there. The aura is nice, but I feel like the red is too dark, and so the aura is covering up a lot of that detail and a lot of the color of that suit. The indicator that it was red is when I was first looking at the boots and the hands, and then I noticed the rest of the suit was red. But not a bad style. And then we got Star Killer with it looks like he's got like a early Vegeta, because the way that I'm able to tell it's early Vegeta is he's got the tail on the back, and he's also got like the leg plates, where Vegeta didn't have any of that much later on. It was only in the beginning that he actually had those. So yeah, but I mean it's a very nice like early Vegeta. So there you go. Very nice. Let's see if there's one other one. I thought I saw like a Majin like name on here, and it got me a little curious. Sectors, how's it going? Welcome to chat. What's that face styles hers got? Let me know which character, I'll answer it. PPZ was saying, I'm thinking of compiling my best styles of 2025 into a short clip to share. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Ned says, I made a style for Clayface in your phase. Let me know what character, and I'll check it out. Because I only saw Basil, and he was the only Clayface character that I saw in the phase. So, let me know. We got Laffy-san over here. Let me see if I can find him. There we go. So we got the classic Loki going on here. Very nice. I was looking at somebody else here and I totally forgot who it was. Let me see here. Maybe it'll jog my memory. We got Magneto over here. Let me take a quick look. I'm only seeing them from their back, so... Okay, it's not bad. I think the boots are a good start. I think the gloves are a bit outdated at this point. I think you can use something better for the gloves and the belt. I think there's a lot of other options you can use. I think the shoulder style's good. I think that's fine. I think you still run with that. But yeah, I feel like the gloves are probably kind of on their way out at that point. Let me see here. We got the Aesir Goddess Sif, so let's check them out. Very nice. I think the belt's a good choice. I think a lot of this makes sense, so I'm gonna run with it. Very nice. I think the head style was really good. It matched very well with the wings. Like all the you could tell they had to try to match the gold with the head style. I think they did a good job. Yeah, very nice. It doesn't use a lot of materials, but they got the color shading just right. I think they pulled it off quite well. And then we have Jeannie Nelson over here. Alright. This is from the TV show I Dream of Jeannie. Never really watched it, but I have seen things of it, so I kind of get it. Wasn't really my thing, but I can see when somebody does something really good, right? We got Portal Man over here. I kind of like the original character design, Portal Man, and this looks like maybe like a portal sort of idea. And he's got looks like a portal aura around it. That's what it kind of looks like, like maybe he could be walking through like his own personal portal at all times and can phase away and whatnot. So I kind of like that idea. All he'd need left is probably like one of those space accessories, whether it's the black hole accessory like that, or like the ripped reality. Like for him, they'd probably want the blue one, right? There you go. I think that would work well with the character design. Alright, let me see if I got a reply here. He's the Vegeta one. Oh, what's the face for the Vegeta? I believe that's the Lex Luthor monocle, if I remember correctly. Let me see if I can find it on here. Yeah. Let me see if I take the head off. Yeah, Lex Luthor's a monocle. That's the face style, and these are all the parts to it. See that? So it's the lens, the side, and then the microphone slash brain snaps connector. That's what makes it up. Yeah. Oh, you did do the Basil one. Yeah. I looked at that one earlier. I saw that you like changed something with like a Superman chest style, but I did see, but I did check them out earlier. Yeah. Because I know you were working on it a little earlier, but I did go ahead and check it out when it looked like you were done. We got Super Saiyan again. Okay, so it's like the Vegeta again, but this is like the, Dragon Ball Super, kind of very new version of Vegeta, compared to like the, what we had seen earlier. Let's see here. I think I've already seen this Mr. Stark before. Let's see here. I'll throw a car at me. I'll throw a car back. There we go. A car for a car. Now let's look at Evoker here, because I haven't seen people do a Circe style in a long time. I mean, we kind of got her head style. That was kind of nice, but man, I felt like it could have been like a much like bigger head style though. I think they could have done a lot more with, or hopefully they give us one where it's actually like the full, like the whole like apparatus kind of hanging up around here. Because it's like these are like the really like small version of her. But I mean, they did a good job on trying to look like, trying to directly look like her, right? Alright, and then we got Persevering over here. They seem to have a very interesting like Norse style going on here. I like the shading to that. They did a very good job. And I like the Viking thing to where they go ahead and they have like the double braids on the scalp. That's very nice. And then then they're trying to like match that with the new beard. That new beard is like awesome. Like that's like to me that's like a really great like step forward in terms of like beard styles for the game. So I hope they make more. That's the only thing. I hope they make more of those. I'm trying to look at the other Poseidon. Here we go. Let's check him out. So they're using the same skin, very nice. I feel like this belt meshes very well with these legs. Yeah, I actually like that. I think the color on it's very nice. He's got like the blue bottom there. You got the very dramatic cape on the back. And then it's just, and then it's like the items of power that he has are his crown and his shoulder piece. So I think that's very nice. And this looks like maybe like some sort of armor that he kind of wrapped up over his arm, so it's not anything crazy, because he's obviously very strong on his own. He doesn't need to be too armored up. All right, and then we have the Saiyan Cumber over here. He's not a character that's like officially in Dragon Ball. He's from like Dragon Ball Heroes, but I did really enjoy like the limited amount of time that I did see him in that little it was basically like a little game series. It's like it was like advertising for the Dragon Ball Heroes like game over in Japan, and so they made like a corresponding like little anime series, not really series, but it was like, I don't know. It was cool though. Very very nice. And then we got Odin Borson. Very nice. It's actually funny that I see somebody making an Odin style with this headpiece, because I actually have an Odin style that I made recently and it has yet to be put into a video. So I do have an Odin style but I find it funny that there's another Odin running around. So, um, so yeah, I kind of find that really hilarious. That's cool. And then, all right, I think I'm gonna look at amateur Sue over here, and then I think I'm gonna swap down a few phases. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's classy. It's not bad. Very nice. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I should be able to phase just right from here. I'm so used to being in combat for my villain where I have to literally fly all the way up. All right, so we've got. Looks like somebody doing a very basic Moon Knight. They're probably very new to the game. Yeah, they're just a level 30. It's probably somebody maybe with like their alt. And then we have Kenna Kira. So they look like, you know, I think they had like the bat style, or like yeah, like the baseball bat. I always thought that was a really cool style that they went ahead and they did. So I was in a rush to get that when I was able to find out that they did have it and where to get it. I like when they when they put like really cool like weapon styles in the game. So I thought they did a really good job with stuff like that, and I kind of like how they did like the Huntress like crossbow. I thought that was also really good. And that was basically like during the iconic like weapon style, you know, whole thing with that. I forget who was the dev that actually like put all that stuff out and made it all available, but it's like he was like a godsend when it came to getting that sort of stuff. Because so many people were like using other substitutes to, you know, to those items, and then those items came out, and it was like, well, nope, we don't have to do any of that anymore. We just have them. And then they kind of just kept doing that. So it's like now, anytime there's like a new like, you know, new weapon style, now you can just go ahead and, you know, they'll give you like a version of it. Kind of, if you want to think of a good example, it's like the it's like the sword for the orbital, the giant sword for the orbital that Absolute Diana wears. It's like that. It's like, you know, not only is it a back style, but then they made it like, I think it was what, like a one-handed and a two-handed style. So they did a really good job with that one, so that's in the game, you know. So they translate it into as many versions as they can possible. So I thought that was a good decision there. You know, try to make as much of that as available as possible, I guess. All right. All right. I'm gonna look at, I don't know, maybe another 2 to 3 more styles, and then I think we can call it a stream. So I'm gonna take a look at King Thor over here. And then I'll look at the Black Panther that we got going on here close by. So I think this is a really good representation of like the Thor, you know, with like, you know, fighting Hulk, whatnot. I thought that was actually pretty cool. Trying to see here. And then we had the, where's the Black Panther character? There we go. T'Challa. So this is kind of cool. I kind of wish that the eyes, you could kind of see the eyes somewhat, but it's not terrible. I think it's a nice style. I just missed the definition in the face somewhat. And then I'll look at one more. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. we're going to look at Grant Gardner over here. I'm a sucker for lanterns, what can I say? So we've got, looks like it looks like, you know, their version of their character, maybe like being like, I don't know, like a Parallax version of their character. It has like very like Parallax, Hal Jordan, or Kyle Rayner like influence to it. But it's not bad. Okie doke. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me here today. We actually had a lot more Dragon Ball Z characters than I've seen in like a very long time, so that was kind of cool. So they obviously came out in force today. But I appreciate you all for hanging out with me on this Sunday evening, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. I will see you all in the next one. Laters.